get real, child. Let's get real.
Well, welcome to another episode of the David Munson Insights with David podcast. I hope you're doing well today, and I hope you'll stay with me for the whole time. I don't know if you've watched my documentary and how much you've gotten online, but Get Real, A Positive Solution to Climate Change is my book that I encourage everybody to read. If you have any interest in learning more about some of my wild ideas, you know, these short podcasts just offer a window to talk a little bit about what I'm doing and how things are going. So I hope you'll go to GetRealTV.com if you're not already on it, and watch the video documentary, which will go into a lot more detail. But it'd be better to buy my book because it's 12 hours of audio, whereas the video documentary is only an hour and a half. So you don't get near as much content from the video documentary. And frankly, friends, I think the more content you learn about my insights about climate and about how rock dust is really the answer to building up the soil and increasing photosynthesis so the carbon dioxide levels go down and stay down, even though we're burning oil and gas. Ideally, we're burning more natural gas, both geologic and biologic, because, you know, all the people that talk about alternative fuels don't realize that nature is designed to make natural gas or methane in anaerobic environments. Like swamps make natural gas under the water-sogged soil that bubbles up into the air. So there's a lot of sources of methane emissions that are totally natural and out of man's control. You know, a lot of environmentalists say, oh, cows are such a big problem because they emit methane. Well, methane doesn't last in the environment. God, in his amazing way, has microbes that actually eat methane, that eat it out of the air and eat it out of methane sources. So methane is not a problem long term because it gets converted to carbon dioxide. And guess what happens to the carbon dioxide? Photosynthesis eats it up. So it's constantly in actually short supply according to a plant. A plant would like to have twice as much carbon dioxide in the air. In fact, friends, on a still sunny day in an Iowa cornfield, the carbon dioxide level drops to literally zero. So the corn plant is actually starving for carbon dioxide, which is the base of its food chain with photosynthesis. So, friends, I'm a realist. My program is called GetRealTV.com. My alliance is called Get Real Alliance. My book is called Get Real, A Positive Solution to Climate Change, because I'm a get real guy. I hate irrational thought. I hate people being worried about things they don't need to be worried about, while they don't worry about things they need to worry about. We need to be very worried about losing 10 million tons of topsoil a day. We need to be very worried about 1 million acres going to desert a year globally, and 1 million acres being paved a year. Those are bad long-term trends, friend. I'm a long-term thinker. I'm not somebody that thinks, what's life going to be like in 10 years? I want to think about what's my grandkids' life going to be if I have grandkids in 75 years. It may be 10 years before I have a grandkid. So my grandkids will live into the 21st century if current health trends and lifespans continue. Frankly, friends, I'm very concerned about the deteriorating food supply and the lack of minerals in the soil. So my climate program is all about adding minerals to the soil by adding basalt rock dust to the soil, which is a non-water soluble, everlasting source of minerals that requires microbial action to eat and take the rock particles minerals out and make them available to plants. We're so arrogant as people, thinking we're so numerous and we make such a big deal. Friends, there's more microbes in a handful of soil that's healthy than there are people on earth. Microbes outnumber people millions to one. So we need to take care of the microbes in our bodies by feeding it mineral-rich food. We're living a very deficient life. I'm taking a lot of minerals because I know my food supply is demineralized, and I hope you will be too. There's some great people out there doing great nutritional advice. I take a product called Immuno 150, which has a whole bunch of trace elements in plant-based form, a wonderful product that I strongly recommend. But getting back to Get Real Alliance and Get Real about climate, we need to start remineralizing. So a great charity that I support and I strongly encourage you to support is remineralize.org, which is the website for Remineralize the Earth, which I think can be the vehicle for us to remineralize in a non-governmental way. I'm a libertarian Christian, and I don't think we need to create a new world government dominating the remineralization of Earth. I think we need to do it through private, efficient charity instead of wasteful government. I can't think of anything the government does well. All of it has inefficiencies and waste and tragic over expense. So we need to do things privately, and that's where Remineralize the Earth can really make a difference. So I hope you'll go to the website, become a supporter. My mantra to people that are concerned about climate and are concerned about carbon dioxide is it would be great if you would devote 10% of your budget that you spend on energy, electricity, gasoline, natural gas. If you would donate 10% of that to Remineralize the Earth, it could start doing major projects to sequester your share of carbon. So how about that, friends? That's a positive thing we can all do. Go to Remineralize the Earth, remineralize.org. Start giving. If you spend $1,000 on energy a month, which is an extreme amount, that's probably meaning you're driving huge distances or living in a huge house that's very energy inefficient. So give $100 a month to Remineralize the Earth, and you can be carbon negative and feel good about that. So I'm a win-win guy. I hate the idea of giving up reliable electricity, giving up our modern way of life in the name of climate change, while we do nothing to curb the rampant growth of coal-fired power plants in China, where China's carbon emissions far exceed ours now, and they're growing rapidly as they industrialize and try to bring more electricity to build up their country. So, friends, we've got to get real. One of my favorite congressmen, Brandon Williams, has embraced our program and actually nicknamed it the Green Real Deal as an alternative to this Green New Deal that the Democrats are touting that really is an end of America as we know it. I wouldn't be taping this show with you, friends, because today is a partly cloudy day, if we were relying on solar power as our main source of electricity. I'd be in the dark right now. This studio wouldn't be getting anything done with all the work they're doing without reliable electricity. So join GetRealAlliance.org. Give us some money so we can spread the word. But if you really want to be carbon negative, you need to give to remineralize.org and start giving now and building it up. It's been going for 40 years. A wonderful lady started and has been a zealot for rock dust for her whole adult life, basically. But she needs support. We need to grow it dramatically. So go to the website. It's easy to sign up and be a monthly contributor. And, you can say, well, I can't afford to give all my energy budget, can't afford to give 10% of my energy budget, but you can give 10% of your gasoline budget, which is a lower number. But friends, we all need to contribute. And my theme is that not everybody has a spare dollar. 40% of America can't come up with $500 without borrowing money. So I don't want to tax them. When I first started thinking about how to solve the climate crisis, I thought putting a tax on gasoline and energy of about 10% would be the good plan. But I now feel like I was getting away from my libertarian Christian roots, thinking that government needed to be involved in the transaction when they'd really just waste it and create a huge bureaucracy. So Remineralize the Earth is mostly all volunteer, super low budget, has a history of efficiency, so it can grow dramatically with funding. So I hope you'll give to it and go to it. And let's let Joanna Campy, who's in my video documentary and is a good friend who's doing a great job, see the satisfaction of her legacy going on to a huge level, making a real difference in the world by adding minerals to the soil to make us quickly carbon negative. So there's a lot of news that doesn't get out there. I just did a podcast and we talked about how one of the things people don't realize is that the reason why carbon dioxide levels have risen since the 1800s is not man's emissions, but man's plowing of the North American prairie, which released massive amounts of carbon dioxide and sharply reduced carbon sequestration by that massive lung of the earth that was God's creation to create incredible food in a synergistic, holistic way, supporting massive herds of buffalo and massive numbers of wolves and Indians living in harmony. So there's a lot we can do, and I hope that you will get online and get the book, go to Remineralize the Earth, and take action. Edmund Burke said long ago, so wisely, all that is needed for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And frankly, friends, a lot of good people are doing nothing. And then there's a lot of people that are misguided who are worshiping nature and think that man is entirely bad and unredeemable, and are actually kind of in favor of shrinking global population instead of making America and the world prosperous and increasing food supply so there is no world hunger. We need to change our ways, and I'm the man to advocate the solutions because God has blessed me with incredible insights that most people just aren't aware of. So I hope you'll stay tuned. If you like Get Real TV, if you're on GetRealTV.com or want to see me grow, we have a way you can support Get Real TV online, and Get Real Alliance has a giving page. So I need support. If you like my message, if you like the idea of me getting my word out to more people, getting this show going a lot better, please join us and support us. Don't be somebody who sits on their hand and thinks there's nothing I can do. Everybody can do. Big money can flow in from small amounts of money. If you give $5 or $10, if 100,000 people give $5 a month, that's $500,000 a month. They can produce a ton of programming and market it where my message gets out to everybody. So don't be one of those do nothing people. Be a do something person to make the world a better place so that we have a better future. And I hope you'll go to the websites I've talked about, GetRealAlliance.org. If you're not on GetRealTV.com, go to that. If you're not on fullofideas.com, my invention company, or go to remineralize.org. All those are good causes and can make a big difference. So join with me and help me make a difference, because I'm eager to have a good future. I'm blessed with good fortune. I've had a good life growing up in this bull market that's gone on my whole adult life, with the stock market rising dramatically, creating incredible wealth. But friends, if we don't start taking care of the earth and remineralizing it and stopping soil erosion by having cover crops and companion crops, we don't have a good future, friends. And I want to have a good future. I want my kids to have a good future. And we need to do that to have a good life for our children and grandchildren. I'm a long-term thinker. My family has my great-grandfather's office building from 1888. Time flies by fast. My 65 years have flown by. I still remember high school like it was just yesterday, because in the big scheme of things, as we get older, time does fly by, and a year becomes a very trivial amount of time. So help me make a difference, and we can do great things and really give ourselves a great future and fight this Green New Deal talk about electric vehicles that don't go anywhere and aren't chargeable, and unreliable electricity on a cloudy day like today. And we've got to get real. We got to get real. And so please join with us and let's change things. You know, one of my exciting inventions is a way to use God's native prairie grass, the polyculture of all kinds of plants growing in harmony, sequestering tons of carbon, to harvest it at a high height like the buffalo did when they roamed through the prairie on a continuous movement where they never stopped moving. They took a bite and walked and took a bite and walked. So my harvesting system harvests the native prairie grass at high height and transports its animal in humane confinement where they have optimum growth and tenderness and are happy being warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Frankly, friends, a lot of our agricultural practices are really just inhumane to the animals, and some people choose not to eat meat because of that. You should seek out meat that is raised more humanely. But believe it or not, in a lot of areas, an animal being outside is not a real happy animal. They're miserable many days, either freezing cold, almost dying of cold, or being so hot they almost overheat from heat and lose weight. So my idea is to have cattle in fabric buildings, which are cool in the summer and warm in the winter, so that we can literally harvest all the methane that the cows burp up while they're digesting their forage by having a natural gas powered electric generator sucking air out of the building actively to keep the air fresh and clean, but burning that natural gas the cows emit instead of it going into the atmosphere as this, quote, dangerous methane greenhouse gas. So we can make the cattle, for some of their life, have no methane emissions, so that the prairie grass that's feeding the cattle is actually sequestering so much carbon that it far exceeds the methane that the cows emit or the CO2 that the natural gas generator emits, powered by manure digestion that produces the natural gas to run the generator. So a synergistic, basically zero carbon or negative carbon emission process that produces food and energy, as well as using the CO2 that the biogas digester produces to increase the growth of greenhouse or hydroponic vegetables to have a sustainable local food supply. So I'm all about efficiency. I'm all about quality. I hate that much of the value of our food right now is lost to oxidation and deterioration because of the long time between when the food is harvested and when it's eaten. Ideally, vegetables and fruit should be eaten the day they're picked, not a week or 2 weeks later before the decay sets in so much that a retailer says it's not saleable, so they throw it away. We've got to get real, friends, and I hope you'll join with me and go to the websites. If you're just tuning in, getrealliance.org, fullofideas.com, getrealtv.com, thethrivingvillage.org, remineralized.org. So lots of content, friends. Do something. Help me. I'm a fighter, but I need support. One man alone without an army is nothing. I need an army of advocates to promote my climate program and my solutions to make the world a better place. So please buy the book and go to the websites. The book is available on the websites. It's available on Amazon, but they make it hard to find. You have to type the whole name in. You can write reviews if you buy the book. It's available paperback, audiobook, Kindle. So join with me, friends, and let's do something to make the world a better place. Thank you for being with me today, and may God bless you with good fortune, and may you share your good fortune with your fellow man by supporting me and Remineralize the Earth to make a real difference in the world and give us a better future. Take care.